When a person dies, as in life, not everybody lives the same way, even if you give them the same opportunity. So in death, not everybody dies the same way. When I say they do not die the same way, I'm not talking about one died of heart attack, another died of cancer, another died crashing his car, another died hanging from a rope. I'm not talking about that. Those are only causes of death, that's not death. You need some cause. Something has to break or time has to run out. Time running out, what it means? Something breaking, you know. Somebody went and had an accident, body broke, that means body became inhospitable for life. Life may be still vibrant, but body became inhospitable for life, so it has to exit. Your heart missed 2 beats instead of 1. You're dead, that's an accident. Or, you know, all this micro life which is floating around, you took in the wrong number of bacteria, you could be dead because it damaged the body. It doesn't matter how it happened. But essentially, if body gets damaged due to some reason, then if it becomes inhospitable for life to sustain itself, then there is a breakdown of body. Because there's a breakdown of body, there's an exiting of life process. We'll consider all these are accidental deaths or unnatural deaths. What would be a natural death then? A natural death means what you call as my life is a certain amount of energy controlled by a certain amount of information. This information, in today's verbology, we can call it software. So certain amount of life energy charged with a certain amount of information. Now, together, this information technology is you. You become a certain kind of character because of a certain type of information that's gone into you. Somebody has become different simply because of the type of information that's gotten into him. This information, traditionally we call it as karma, or the karmic body or the causal body, that which causes life. So if we use a simpler term of karma or the karmic body, in this there are 2 dimensions, 2 fundamental dimensions. One is sanchita karma. This is the warehouse of karma. This goes right back to a single-celled animal and even inanimate substances from where life evolved. All the information is there. If you close your eyes, become aware enough and look into yourself, you will know the nature of the universe, not because you're looking at it through your head, simply because this information is present in the making of the body. That is your sanchita karma. You cannot take your warehouse and do retail business, you know. You need to have another shop to do retail business. So, that retail that is for this life is called prarabdha. Prarabdha karma is a certain amount of information allotted for this life. Depending upon the vibrancy of your life, life allots itself. how much information it can take on. Natural death means as information runs out, life becomes feeble. That if a person dies like this, he clearly knows that he's going to die. And you will see extraordinary wisdom they will display because they're dying a natural death. When information runs out, life peters out slowly. And this is not torturous, this is very beautiful. Even if you lived a bad life, the last few moments will become very peaceful and wonderful and perceptive. You will see, I don't know if you've seen any old people dying naturally in your homes. If you've seen, the last few days they suddenly become so wise, they're not attached to anything around them, they're showing an extraordinary sense of maturity which they fail to show throughout their life. Have you noticed this sometimes? Some people die like this because that's a natural death. Natural death is not a bad death, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you and good thing for others that you're leaving, you know. Naturally, not being forced out of your body, naturally moving out. This will naturally bring awareness and the necessary perception, and this is very good. It's a good way to go. But if information is not run out, because till you're 80, you're trying to live like a teenager, so information doesn't run out. How rapidly you empty your prarabdha depends on how quickly you move from one aspect of life to another. If you are 80 and still think like a teenager, you still want to romance somebody, you still want to go sit on the street side and watch a woman walking on the street. What you should have done at 16 or 18, you can't get rid of it, then your prarabdha will not go. Now, it doesn't matter you live to be 100, but still you will die an unnatural death because body will run out, information will not run out. So, if one dies and his information is not done, his prarabdha is not done, then life is still vibrant, but body is gone. Then something must be done for him. Something must be done to help. If you don't do that, if you do not do the right things about him, he will unnecessarily wander. So, this disembodied life has no discriminatory mind. It will tend to go by its tendencies. Whatever karmic substance which is still not dissolved, which will form a certain type of tendency, will drive it in certain directions. Certain directions means, there are many aspects to it. If I say these things, you will start imagining things tonight. Here we cleaned up the place. Wherever this is dangerous. Wherever there is life, and the life is of such a nature that it breathes minimally. Breathes minimally means the oxygen levels around it. Oxygen is not the factor, but anything that is life-nurturing is at minimal level around it. Not in terms of energy, but in terms of physical forces, so we can call it oxygen. For example, a tamarind tree, we got one. Always around a temple, they will plant a tamarind tree. Not bang in the front, but we had it ready-made, so we left it there. You've always heard in India, all the ghosts hang on a tamarind tree, have you? Why a tamarind tree is, I want you to just go tonight and notice it. Don't get me wrong, not the ghosts. If you go and watch the tamarind tree, if you go and watch the other trees, you will see a lot of birds will be sitting for the night's rest. No bird will settle down on a tamarind tree. No monkey will settle down on a tamarind tree. Though there is fruit, daytime they will eat, night nobody will settle there. Because the level of oxygen around a tamarind tree is extremely low compared to any other vegetation that you can find. There are other trees also, a few of them, but this one is significantly so. So because there is not enough oxygen, the birds don't settle, other life doesn't settle. Because there is no other life settling and lack of oxygen, in physical terms, for a mindless life feels like death and dissolution. So it tends to move in that direction. It may also move in the direction of a yogi who has a certain mastery over his breath because he is not breathing as much as others are breathing. We've been telling you, your breath will slow down as you do your practice. Hatha Yoga people must be noticing this. As you do your Hatha Yoga, your number of breaths per minute is coming down. Better utilization of the environment around you, but in terms of physical forces, there is less happening around you than somebody who is puffing all the time. Maybe a cigarette smoker, who knows? We need to test this out. A cobra, just to name a few. These are things where disembodied beings naturally tend to move towards. If it moves towards a yogi, no problem, he will do what he has to do with them. Tamarind tree, they can hang there. If it's in front of a place like Dhyanalinga, that handles it. A cobra also has a certain influence on this life. This is why the relationship between cobra and life and birth and cycles and works is simply because it attracts disembodied beings, simply because it holds its breath for long periods of time. It exhales once in 7 to 9 minutes or even 12 minutes if it's a large snake. Because of this, these things move. Or in other words, essentially what you need to understand is, they have no discriminatory mind, they move by tendencies. If you have certain tendencies, a certain type of life may come towards you, but they cannot harm you, they cannot do anything to you because they have no intention, they have no mind. They're just looking for some place to move, whichever way their tendencies blow them, they're moving that way. Mindless life, non-discriminatory life. It is not choosing you as a choice, but if the way you are and their tendencies match, they tend to move towards you. You need to understand there is no such thing as a ghost. You are a ghost with body. Someone lost their body, does it make them more dangerous or less dangerous? Huh? Less dangerous. They lost their mind and body, they're less dangerous than these people. So they do not become more dangerous when they lose their mind and body, they become far less dangerous. It is just that your mind can do enormous damage to you simply because of extraordinary levels of fear that one generates when somebody sees the things. Yesterday we had someone, a California-born person who is in India, they took him into the forest. He went just, a 15-minute walk to the Vaibhav Shiva spot. looked around, where are the animals? Where is the elephant? Where is the tiger? He thought they will all be sitting there waiting for him to see. So it's not like ghosts are coming to attack you and do something, no, they're just like breeze. In southern India, I don't know if they use this word in Tamil, at least in Kannada, they call these forces as gali. Gali means just air or breeze. It's a most appropriate description. Is there a Tamil word like… Avi. Avi is like steam. It's the most appropriate description. It's just like steam or breeze. Whichever way it blows, they go that way. They have no mind of their own. If a ghost comes, you can just do oof, they'll go. Really. Because they have no mind, they have no body, by tendencies they're floating around, simply they'll go. It is a very appropriate description to call it gali or avi, because that's how it is. This happened when I was just… maybe I'm 8 years of age probably. My father's grandfather's sister